It's been so long since I've been in front of the camera, I almost fucked up twice. 1, I forgot to put up all my fancy lights. 2, forgot my microphone was on mute. Hi everyone, and welcome to my first horror movie review for 2019. Super excited. I've been watching a lot of great horror movies and some terrible ones, which I will still review. The movie I want to talk about today, and at the risk of sounding cheesy, is a piece of art. And that's funny and cheesy because the art in this movie kills people. And that movie is called Velvet Buzzsaw. It actually debuted in the Utah Sundance Film Festival just on January 27th of this year, and Netflix, brilliant people that they are, let us feel like we were part of the festival and released it on February 1st for streaming. One of my bucket list items is to go to the Sundance Film Festival, so it was actually kind of a treat to see something that debuted there at the same time that it was still going on. One day I'll go. It'll be great. One thing I've done on my channel I don't think I've ever actually explained is I don't really like to go into the synopsis. I actually link the IMDb synopsis in the description below in case you wanted to know more about it. You could look at the short synopsis, or you could even go to the full detailed synopsis, but I don't recommend that because oftentimes there's spoilers, and this movie, I don't feel like you really want to spoil it. Although, some people will argue that the trailer spoils a lot of the amazing things in this movie. Yeah, a lot of the amazing things are in the trailer, I won't deny it, but I do not feel like this trailer, or at least the trailer that I saw, spoiled the movie or was misleading. I felt it was actually a very good representation of what to expect out of the movie. I feel like this had a phenomenal cast, and because of that, the acting was superb in my opinion. I do question whether this should be considered a horror movie or not. The gore in it is extremely mild compared to most horror movies. It is there, just not as much as people may want there to be. I do feel like this was an extremely satirical movie commenting on the art community and the art culture and how we perceive art and success in art, which is an interesting conversation given that I'm an artist. But it is very much a dark satire on the whole industry and how things are perceived and manipulated and all that other stuff. It's interesting, which is actually one reason I do consider it a piece of art, because it was artfully done and how everything connected, and the writing alone, characters are written in a way that you hate them because they're terrible people, and when they die you actually cheer for their deaths because they are despicable, selfish, immoral, messed up people. And it's a good representation, I feel, of the people who decide what is desirable for anyone to buy, not just art. This part is a commentary on society and the consumerism of the third world country right now. One thing I really appreciate about the writing in this movie is we got smart characters. These characters aren't your typical horror movie characters who go about their same business and don't recognize the patterns of what's going on. These characters are smart enough that they quickly recognize the patterns, that people are dying, and it only started because of these paintings that are being sold, and it's part of the commentary of art in this movie. And they start to go, alright, so something's amiss. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna fix this or not fix this? As in, I just want to live and fuck everybody else. Oftentimes, you can see eyes in the background watching the person before they die, or throughout the movie that paintings are watching them, which is actually a really awesome effect that some classical painters have been able to do. It is called linear perspective, and it means no matter where you move around the painting, it's like the painting's watching you. And while researching the linear perspective and trying to find out what the name was because I couldn't recall it, I actually found an interesting study where somebody did paintings of butts in linear perspective, and it actually looks like the butt is following you. So it not only works with eyes, but it works with butts too. I'll see if I can find that study again and link it below in the description if I can, because it was interesting and amusing to me. There were a lot of interesting things in this movie, like I said, and I kind of want to break them down, not necessarily into details because they're a conversation and how you perceive these things, but some of them were how money which could be interpreted as greed, shapes our world. It is a huge proponent on how our world is shaped. We don't realize it, but it is. It's becoming more of a conversation about how much it does. There's also a conversation about one particular character who is a well-known, well-respected artist, and his pieces that are more popular were done while he was alcoholic. When we meet him in the movie, he is sober, he isn't drinking, and he's really lost creativity. And it goes into a conversation about, it's very minor, but it's a big theme in the art community, whether it be visual, movies, music, that when an artist sobers up, whether it be alcohol or drugs, that they tend to lose the creativity. It was a very interesting conversation about that within this particular character, because at the end of the movie, he ends up, towards the end of the movie, he ends up drinking again, and he is given an opportunity to go to a beach house to sober up, reconnect, figure out his shit, and hopefully reconnect with art. And we do get to see him do that, which was a brilliant scene by the amazing John Malkovich, which actually brings me to the next big overarching theme of this movie that, as an artist, I found extremely intriguing and worth having a conversation, as I am, as of the time you're seeing this, I don't have a regular job. I am now a full-time artist. And it's a little scary. I have to decide about things that relate to this movie. Do I want to make art for me? Or do I want to sell out and make art that I know is going to sell? And that's actually a conversation I've been having with myself for years as I have built my company to where it is right now. There's like a fine line. Is my art for me? Is my art for you? Is art in general for the creator or the viewer, or is it both? Is there a fine line between it? There's a lot of interesting thoughts and conversation and dialogue in this whole movie around that theme. And that is actually a lot of where the death, in my opinion, comes in from this movie. The painter Dees passes away in the beginning, and he has stipulated that he wants his art to be destroyed, as in no one's ever going to see it other than he, the creator. And one of these curators at a gallery finds his art, because she's the one who found his dead body, and decides to take it and try to sell it. That art to that artist, in my opinion, was created for him. He is messed up, like that's part of the horror element. So he doesn't want people to see his art. He just wants it destroyed. And I think that's an interesting concept as an artist. I make my art to share myself with people. Like, unless it's a commission, like somebody hires me to do something specific, everything that I've created is part of me and my interests and what I like to see put out for the rest of the world. Like, I consider each and every one of my pieces of art a pet or a child, and I actually am now saying, you can adopt my paintings, you can adopt my art, because to me they have my spirit, my personality, who I am embodied in them. And there's a lot of conversation in the movie about it. So, kind of gotten a little rambly, but it's a whole big, interesting movie when you look at it from the social, satirical aspects of the commentary of this. We'll just call it a dark satire. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts regarding that question. If you are an artist, or if you just appreciate art, because movies are art, is it made for the creator, or is it made for the viewer? Or is there a middle ground? What are your thoughts? So as I've said, I really liked this movie. I did debate between a 4 or a 5 because of the unclarity of some of the supernatural aspects of it, but I think it is a very big, thought-provoking movie, so I decided to just give it a 5 across the board, because there was so much good about it. The effects were good, which I didn't really touch into too much, but they were. The acting, the writing, the whole concept. I think it was phenomenally done. Thanks for watching my first horror movie review for 2019. Starting in March, I will be starting to do my 2 videos a week again. Tuesday art videos, Thursday horror movie review videos. So from my dark heart to yours, have a wonderful day. Please don't die before my next video.